Welcome to Log Furniture How To, the most all-inclusive site on the net for log and rustic furniture, fixtures, and decor. That's logfurnitureHowTo.com. Everybody, welcome to the San Juan Carpentry YouTube channel. My name is Scott Schaefer, and today I'm going to show you how to make dresser drawers. This is one of three I made for a dresser, and as you can see, it's made out of beetle kill pine. You can see the blue streaks there, and aspen tongue groove in the middle. I also have my drawer glides on there, so I'll show you how to do that. And I did not do dovetail joints. If you want to know why I don't do dovetail, click on this video and I'll have a little explanation. But in this video, I'm going to show you how to do these kind of joints, which are just as sturdy. I mean, this is a really sturdy box. This isn't going anywhere. So let's get started. I've already got my boards glued up for this project. If you'd like to see the video about how to glue them up, just click on the screen right now and then come back to this video later. I'm going to use 1-inch dimensional beetle killed pine. These particular boards came from a standing dead tree that I cut down near Winter Park, Colorado just a few months ago. I've also already cut my boards to my desired dimensions. Watch this entire tutorial before you begin cutting your boards to size. So let's get started. First step is to sand the boards using 80 grit sandpaper on my random orbital sander. You can use a large palm sander since you won't be sanding any contours. If you're using store-bought lumber, you may be able to skip this step depending on how beat up your boards are. It's up to you. I'm going to sand both sides of each board to complete this step. Once the boards are smooth, we're going to take them over to the table saw and equip it with a dado blade. Measure the thickness of your boards and install the number of blades you need to match that thickness. All but one of your blades should be 1/8 inch thick and the other one should be 1/16 of an inch thick. My boards require that I use all of my blades. Set the fence as close to the blade as possible without the blade touching it. Turn it with your fingers a few times to make sure. Speaking of spinning the blade with your fingers, respect the dado blade. I had the unfortunate experience of my fingers wandering over and introducing themselves to this very blade about 10 years ago. That was one meet and greet I definitely could have done without. Adjust the height of the blade so it cuts about halfway through your board. Pick out all of your front and back boards for each drawer. If the front board of your drawer will also serve as the face front, thus exposed to onlookers, then this type of construction won't work for you. From here on out, we'll refer to these boards as the A boards. We'll refer to the side boards as B boards. So to review, the set of A boards and set of B boards make up the walls of the drawer box. The A boards are the ones you're going to run through the blade on this step. Pick the side that looks best and face it down as you slide it through the blade. The edge of the board that goes through the blade is the edge that will be joined to the adjacent B boards. After the first cut, double check that the B board fits to the dado cut. If not, make adjustments. After you've run all the A boards through the saw, you'll need to reset the saw for the next step. Measure the thickness of the boards you'll be using as the drawer bottoms. I'll be using aspen tongue and groove. Set the table thickness to match. Set the fence a 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch from the blade. On each board, pick which edge will be on the bottom of the drawer. Run that edge against the fence. Whichever side of the board is facing the inside of the drawer must be facing down against the table. Now that all the dado cuts have been made, sand the side of each board that will be facing inside the drawer. Here's a helpful hint. The side facing in is the side with the dado cut for the drawer bottom. We'll finish sand the outside of the drawer once it's assembled. Using a drill bit with a countersink, drill pilot holes, as shown in the video, in each A board through the end where the B boards will join. The number of holes you drill depends on how deep the drawer is and your judgment. I recommend at least 2. Onto the bottom boards. Cut your bottom boards the same length as your B boards. Cut enough of them to add up, side by side, to the length of the A boards. Assembling the drawer. Set up a square on your bench. You can use straight lumber or a steel square like I have. Use a small brush to coat the inside of the dado cut on each end of the A boards. Don't use too much because you don't want it to ooze into the drawer. It's okay if it oozes on the outside though. Next, set up one A board and one B board against the square. Add the other A board and then begin inserting the bottom boards. Use a rubber mallet to push it all together as you go. Once all the bottom boards are in, slide the final B board into place. Use a squaring strap to tighten up your top corners and use clamps to pull the boards together while you fasten the box together. Using 1-inch screws, fasten the box together by driving one screw through each of your pilot holes. If you're using hardwood, or if your boards are really thin, you may need to drill pilot holes into your B-boards before you drive the screw to avoid cracking the wood. Now that the drawer is fully assembled, use 120 grit sandpaper to sand the top edge of the drawer. Lightly round the edges as well to avoid splintering. A palm sander is definitely recommended for that. Next, sand the sides of the drawer with 120 grit sandpaper. The front and back of the drawer won't be exposed, so you don't have to bother sanding those sides. Since the seam is exposed on the sides of the drawers, fill any gaps with glue and sand the seam smooth. Last step. Attaching the drawer glides is the easiest part. It's also something you don't want to screw up. It really doesn't matter where you attach them, although they're typically attached near the bottom of the drawer. Just make sure they are perfectly parallel with the bottom of the drawer and that they are at the same elevation as each other. Attach the smallest rail flush to the front surface of the drawer. Remove the larger rail to drive all 3 screws. Reattach the larger rail and test it to make sure it moves and locks securely. Remove it once again and store it in a safe place until you have the frame built. Speaking of building the frame, that's the next step. Click anywhere on the screen right now to see that video. Alright, well thank you again for watching the San Juan Carpentry YouTube channel. I hope you found this video helpful. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to put them down below. Please subscribe to my videos, to my channel, and please visit my website, www.sanjuancarpentry.com. My name is Scott Schaefer. Thank you so much for watching. The music you heard in this video was performed by Colorado pianist Lacey Black. To find out more about Lacey, you can visit her website at lacyblack.net or find her on Facebook.